this is Juno from homeschoolingalone.com, and today we'll be reviewing our two geography picks. Skill Sharpeners Geography and Daily Geography Practice. These books are both by Even Moore, publisher, and let's go ahead and look the differences between the two. Alright, Skill Sharpeners Geography is something that we have just started using this last year, and it is a very colorful book. We have grade 1 and 3. They're both very colorful, but there are a few differences between first grade and third grade. First grade is a book that I will use again, as I wrote on my article. And the reason why is because it perfectly explains kids about weather, cardinal points, maps. It gives just enough information. It's not too in-depth, but between the colors and all the activities that it has for the kids, it's very entertaining, and kids look forward on doing it. Some of the activities are like drawing. Some of the activities are you have to cut out the parts and then place them in the right place, which of course I can't find where. But there will be more. For example, make a map in a map key. They had to cut out all the pieces, and then they go to the next part and they made their own map. They have to follow the directions. Glue the river in the middle of the map, and then it starts giving them cardinal points for them to practice. Glue the mountain north of the river, so they have to know the north is up, and so on. So throughout the whole book, there will be activities like this, depending on what they're learning. For example, this is a weather map, and over here, they had to cut out the different types of weather, and then they had to follow directions and glue them with the directions. And then at the end, sometimes they have a couple of questions or answers. This book is very well made for first graders who are still beginning readers and writers. So some first graders might need help in the reading portion. So parents will read it for them, and some first graders will just be able to do it on their own. However, very appropriate for first grade kids. This will be a book that I will be using again with my first grader to be. Okay, third grade is a different story. Again, the looks of it is great, very colorful, and just as you can see throughout the book, very colorful book, very appealing to the eye. So why will I not be using it again for third grade? Okay, it's not a horrible choice. It is perfect. I just wanted my child to know a little bit more of each subject, okay? So Unit 1 is about a globe. Let's go look. And how this book is structured is the first one is a reading story. So the child reads this story, and it's just a story. It's a fictional story where this lady asked Emily to come up to the front of her class, spin the globe. It's just a little story that introduces them a little bit about the globe. I personally didn't care for this part of each of the units. Then they go into reading about the globe. So usually, once in a while, I have them read the first part if I think it's something my child will enjoy. If not, I skip it, and I go into reading about what we're learning, which reading about the globes. Third graders usually are starting to become fluent, but there might be some words they are not familiar with. Most of the words are good for third graders, but anyway, my third grader can read it on his own. Sometimes he might need a little bit of assistance with words here and there. But they read this story. There's a definition about globe, continent, and equator. Throughout the units, you'll always have a story and then definitions of the most important words. And then they'll answer between 1, 2, or 3 questions. Some stories only have a couple of questions. This in particular had 3. After they do this part, which I have no problem with this part, then they go into visual literacy. And basically it's just, usually it's what it says, visual. They just look at it and they read the little things about the globe, and that's pretty much it. I personally would have liked a little bit more activities tied into this. And then we go on. Oh, that was it for globes. And then they went into Earth from space, which is tied into the globe. It just shows the globe as our planet. And there is another reading assignment, a couple of questions, a visual, and then there is some vocabulary practice. These activities are pretty cool. The activities for third grade are not quite like the one in first grade. The activities for first grade are pretty much activities that you need to have the materials to do them. It's almost, not experiments, but they're activities that you need to collect your materials, put them together, and do them. We skip them. And then at the end, if you choose to do your activity, at the end, there will be an application. But regardless of the activity or not, then they'll ask for basically what this is. It's a creative writing part. And they're trying to, they're basically, what the editor is trying to do, they're trying to tie into geography, also creative writing, and having developed their thinking skills. I am all for that, but I am all for that when it comes into reading and writing itself. I personally would have liked geography to stick more to geography. But let's keep in mind that this book is not supposed to be a curriculum on its own. It's supposed to be a supplement to kids who are doing geography in school. So it is not a bad curriculum at all, I guess, because I have used something different the previous year. I think I like it a little bit better. I just wish that each one, what it covers, it is great. So let's go back to the contents. What it covers is great. For example, the next unit will be about tornadoes, which is wonderful, but it just gives it a glimpse. It does not go into it as much as that I want to. The first story, which is a fictional stories, I wish they had used it more as a factual story, meaning that they would have gave more facts about tornadoes. So that is my honest review about it. We are going to finish it because it is the parts that we do like. It is an interesting book. But next year we will be passing on to our previous curriculum, which was and will be daily geography. Daily geography, we have been using it starting from second grade, and that's how we will be keep it, because we did like skill sharpeners for first grade, and that's how we will be doing it again. But daily geography is our choice, our geography choice from second grade on. And daily geography is not appealing to everybody, and I will show you exactly why. And let me show you the third grade that I have not used yet. Let's see if you can guess. There is no color in daily geography. Some kids who do well with daily geography having no color, because some kids get easily distracted by books with too much coloring. Some kids, or maybe some parents, feel bored of looking at a book just black and white. I know that's how I felt with some of the books that we are using. But comes to find out, my child doesn't mind it at all. Now, why is this book so black and white? Well, this book is so black and white because kids are supposed to color in. Kids, it does give them at the end an assignment for them to go back to the map and color in the way that they give them direction for. But let's start from the beginning. Daily geography is divided into weeks, 36 weeks to be exact, which is a classic school year. You're supposed to do 1 unit a week. Now, we do 1 week work in a day, and I will show you why. So, the first day, this part is for the teacher to read, and then just basically you you basically explain what a globe is to your child. For example, there is introducing vocabulary, so you can tell them what a continent, earth, and globe and ocean is. And then over here This is basically the activity page that they will do after their last question. And then it goes into this. Now, this is what they're expected to do within a week. And how they divide it is Monday they are supposed to answer 2 questions. After you have, this is for you to read, not to read it to the child. And after you have explained what a globe is, and after you went over the vocabulary definitions, then Monday they're supposed to answer these 2 questions. Tuesday they're supposed to answer the next 2. Wednesday the next 2, and so on. So for my 2nd grader, at first I started doing half on Tuesday and half on Thursday, and then I realized that it was something that we would be able to get off our schedule just in one day. But I did start doing that in the 2nd part of the year because he was a more mature reader and it was easier for him to do. So I like this book. It's easy. It's easy to get through in the school year. I like how it's structured. I do like the fact that it asks a lot of questions, so it makes the kid actually think more about what they have learned. Where geography skills, there's very little for them to write about. You know, they read this story, these are the next 2 questions. Some activities, like I showed you before, they have some subjects that they learned, they have concepts, they learned that they have a little bit more activities, but in general, over here, this is what they do. They only answer 2 questions. Well, kids don't retain much if they don't practice what they do. So that's why I like this. Yes, there is a lot of questions, but they're short, they're to the point, and it does help your child retain what they learned. And as you can see, what they learned is not, it's not very into depth that they just get bored. It's short and to the point, but you'll be surprised by the end of this book how much geography a child has learned. So at the end of 2nd grade, my child could read a map, knows the difference between, knows what a map key is, can easily read any type of map and map keys, has a good understanding of the globe, of our continents, of the oceans, and it does also a good job on showing and teaching them some of our main monuments, landmarks, mountains, rivers, and so on. They do learn about certain things about states. All right, so I'll just go over again for you to see. Okay. It is very easy to fit into your schedule. And they will be learning a globe, a map, directions on a map, using direction, a map key again, a map key grid, using a map key. And as you can see, there is the word map a lot into this. This curriculum per se focuses a lot on learning and retaining and being able to use their map skills. We are very happy with it, and we will be going back to it for 3rd grade. 3rd grade is pretty much follows, as I showed you before, the same exact schedule. It is on a week. This is the work that they're asked for the week. The challenge basically brings them back on the map, whether they have to write. I guess in 3rd grade they start writing more things, coloring, and doing what they need to do. Geography is something that we fit into our school week in about 20 minutes a day, 1 day a week, and we follow it. It's a 36-week curriculum, but we are able to do it in 34 weeks. I think the last 2 weeks I did it twice a week, and this way I knocked it out a little bit earlier than predicted. And that's it. If you would like to follow more of my reviews, you can subscribe to my channel. This is what I'll be doing throughout the years to come, reviewing curriculums that we have used and tell you the good, bad, and the ugly. And please go ahead and also follow my blog at homeschoolingalong.com. Have a great day.